Welcome back, guys. This is the King Weaves in, and this is what if Naruto was trained by Kushina. We begin this with a what if with part one. Just saying. We begin this what if with Minato sealing the mantles in both Naruto and Kushina this time. He didn't want to seal it into himself, and here Kushina and Minato do not get stabbed midway through, and so Minato would die a normal death, and Kushina would actually survive by getting the Naruto's half of the Naruto's back inside of her. Anyway, once this happened, Naruto and Kushina would then go on to live a pretty harsh life after that. No one really knew that Minato got married to Kushina in the first place, and they knew she was the Jinchuriki. However, they didn't know that Minato and her were husband and wife. And anyway, after the Naruto's attack, this fact was not made public even afterwards, so no one actually knew about it. And anyways, this actually created some commotion, especially because now they found out, after realizing that Kushina was Naruto's Jinchuriki and she has a child now, they thought that Kushina must have done it with another man who isn't here anymore, and because of that, once she had the child, Minato had to guard them as he is the Hokage and everything. And anyways, now, so they thought that Kushina was the one responsible for the Naruto's death, and since she's still alive, that must mean the Naruto's is still inside of her, and now they knew that she has the Naruto's. A few years go past, and Kushina does get attacked a few times, same as Naruto, and that's why Kushina actually begins training Naruto at the age of 4. Of course, Naruto would have a pretty normal childhood before that, and other than the hate they were getting from the villagers, though it was so much hate that they even had to move out of the village. Like, they were closer to the Uchihas now, and Naruto and Sasuke were actually really good friends, and Itachi would be like an older brother to Naruto. Naruto would be training with them, and Kushina and Mikoto would be like an auntie to him. Anyways, of course, Fugaku felt bad for the two, since Minato was a pretty good man, and to this day he actually still respects him. Of course, Minato wasn't as bad as the village elders. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Kushina, one day they were actually out on a walk, and I'd say Naruto is now around 5, and he's been training for around a year, and he's been training more intensively than Sasuke, so he's much stronger than Sasuke. Sasuke does not have the Sharingan at all, and Naruto, just him being in Uzumaki would make him physically stronger, as he has way more chakra. In fact, he has a Chunin level chakras at the age of 5 right now. And anyways, now he already unlocked this chakra, and he's been training with it ever since. He already knows tree walking and water walking, which would make him pretty strong for a 5-year-old. And anyways, now his combat skills actually improved, especially because of Kushina. Now Kushina has a lot of strength, as we know. Anyway, of course, that helped out a lot, and Jiraiya even dropped by here and there, because he found, after finding out about Minato's death and Kushina actually having to raise Naruto on her own, he felt bad, and he actually came. And the third Hokage, didn't hate Kushina at all or Naruto. In fact, he felt really bad for them, as they have to go through all of this. And anyways, he tried to stop all the hate from the villagers, but that's something that he cannot stop. Let's be honest, hate is something natural, and it can't really be stopped unless you're Naruto Uzumaki. Anyway, now, of course, this made them leave the village pretty much, or live in the Uchiha compound. And anyways, Of course, Naruto and Kushina would go on to have the walk today, and they were actually alone. They weren't with any guards or anything. And in fact, this was the perfect moment. Naruto was smiling as he was walking down the street, and this pissed off the the villagers. The villagers had to go through so much pain because of those two, and now look at them. They're just strolling around the village like it's nothing, like it's an everyday for them. And what's this? Why are they so happy when they lost the fourth Hokage, the strongest Hokage, the protector, and they're just smiling? And anyways, now Naruto would actually know who his father is here, as he is actually told, and not everyone is told about Naruto's heritages. Only some people that Kushina trusts. And anyways, now, like for example, Sasuke, Itachi, no, sorry, not Sasuke, Itachi, Mikoto, and Fugaku no, and the elders, of course, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and the Hokage. Anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Kushina get attacked, and here they weren't only just villagers; they were actually pretty strong shinobi, and of course, Kakashi knows it. Anyways, they were alone. There was no Kakashi to protect them. Kakashi and Guy both were in a mission, and some Anbi that usually protect them were with them because of the intensity and the gravity of the mission. As it could actually spark a war if they don't get this information and they don't prepare. And anyways, now, of course, now Naruto and Kushina get chased pretty far, and they were actually chased away from. Well, they weren't able to get near the Uchiha compound, as the ninjas that were actually following them knew that if the Uchihas got involved, it would have been pretty much over for them. They would have no chance, as the Uchiha actually are in good terms with these two. And anyways, this is another reason why the council actually got them out of the village, or pretty much pushed them away. And Danzo found another reason, because the villagers believed that it was Uchiha doing for the Naruto's attack, as if the Hokage was there, there is no way the Naruto's could have escaped other than Uchiha actually tried sabotaging something, but they didn't have any proof, so they couldn't really make a case on it. And anyways, now Kushina would be fighting, as Naruto would try to help, but Kushina would hold him back, saying not to fight, as she didn't want her child to get hurt. And anyways, this would go on until Naruto was kicked away by Kushina, because Kushina realized that she cannot fight all these ninjas on her own. And so, as she tries to make one last escape with Naruto in her arms, she runs as fast as possible, as far as possible, even using some little bits of the Naruto's chakra, and the ninjas follow them while the villagers actually run after them. And anyways, now, of course, Kushina is severely injured, even fatally wounded in some parts. For example, she got she got stabbed in the stomach area. And anyways, these wounds could be fatal, and some were, especially because one nearly hit her neck if she didn't dodge fast enough. But she still has a scrape on the right side of her neck. Kushina was breathing heavily and spitting out blood, as she is literally dying. She tells Naruto her last words as the ninjas arrive, and Kushina tells Naruto to become as strong as his father, and to pretty much not to hate the village, as she knows that the villagers are not at fault. They're scared of the Narutos, and she can't really blame them for that, as she's seen firsthand what the Narutos did to them, and she told them not to hate them, as they don't deserve it. It's not their fault. It's just what tail beasts can do is what really scares them. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto is thrown down a ravine where there was, of course, a waterfall, not a ravine. But anyways, the villagers thought he was dead. However, no one knew that he was still alive. Kushina, of course, got destroyed. She got killed, and her final stand would be pretty much a suicidal stand, as she would actually last minute put fire to herself, not fire, but she would explode herself with the ninjas that were attacking her, telling them that if they were going to try to kill her child, they would go to hell with her at least. And anyways, now, of course, these ninjas would die, and there would be a lot of proof that Kushina and Naruto got attacked. This pissed off the Hokage a lot. However, he couldn't do much about it, as this is not really the village's fault. Well, it is the village's fault, but not all the villagers did it, and it was just a few certain ones. And some ninjas who survived were sentenced to life in prison or even death. And anyways, of course, the Hokage wasn't really trying to kill them, but it was Danzo. Danzo was pissed off that both the Naruto's Jinchurikis are now lost, and they don't even know if one is dead. They know that Kushina is, as the ninjas actually, well, literally saw her explode herself. And anyways, no traces of her were remaining other than a little bracelet of hers and her ring. And anyways, that those two survived, ironically. And anyways, of course, these were both given by Minato. And anyway, Naruto did survive, and he was literally dying as he fell down the ravine or the waterfall, and he was only saved thanks to one person, and that one person was Shisui Chiha. Shisui would know Naruto, and he would actually be at the riverbank as he was just resting after training on his own. Itachi's on the mission with not Minato, with Kakashi and Guy and the other Anbu members that would usually protect Naruto and Kushina. And he saw Naruto, and he saw that he was actually wounded a little bit from the fall, and he asked what happened to Naruto, and he waited for Naruto to regain consciousness, and then he asked Naruto what happened. Of course, Naruto was shocked from all of this, and he couldn't talk as he was traumatized. Shisui was going to take Naruto back, but as soon as Naruto heard that he was going to be taken back to the village, Naruto actually stood up and tried to run away. And Shisui, knowing that Naruto wouldn't talk yet, after all he went through something traumatizing from what he deduced, and he realized that it must have been from the village. That's why he's here traumatized, and he's wondering where Kushina is. Of course, Shisui the next day was actually called in, and he told Naruto to remain here. He's not going to tell anyone that he's here, and he's not going to tell even the Hokage. And Naruto knows that Shisui wouldn't lie to him, and he listens and stays. Shisui finds out about Kushina's death, and he's actually asked to search for Naruto. He knows exactly where Naruto is. However, he doesn't want to tell, as he did promise Naruto, and he didn't want to break his promise, especially because after what happened to Naruto, he knows that Naruto must be traumatized. Naruto, being completely, well, he realized that this village is cursed. However, he doesn't want to blame them, as his own mother, literally, who got killed by some of the villagers, said not to. And Naruto, being actually quite smart, even though Kushina is the one who taught him, no offense of course, but let's be honest, Kushina is not the smartest person or the brightest, but still, Naruto took a lot, well, he actually took a lot from Minato, and especially since both Itachi, Ugaku, and even Shisui sometimes, at times, because he's mostly on missions, would train him, he actually became a lot more smarter, and anyways, now, of course, Naruto, once Shisui returned, Shisui told everything to Naruto, how his mother is no longer here. Naruto cried quite a bit, as he knew that this was going to happen, and anyways, he was hoping that she'd be fine, she survived. However, the worst has come, and anyways, Naruto told Shisui that he should leave, as Naruto would leave, as he will be found here. And Shisui says that he won't tell anyone, as they think that you're probably dead as well somewhere, as he fell down a river and you're only a 5-year-old. But of course, you're much stronger than what they think you are. Only the Hokage would have some suspicion that you're still alive, but if nothing comes up from the searches, they will determine you as dead. And so I'm going to try my best and hide you and train you over the next few years. Naruto then says that he doesn't want to hide in the village as it's too dangerous, and Shisui says it's alright, they can hide outside the village. Well, Shisui will still have to return. However, Naruto would be under surveillance by his clones at all times. And anyways, Naruto accepts, and Shisui and Naruto would go somewhere else outside the village. Naruto, and now we will have a full 2 year time skip, and Naruto is now 7, as Shisui. This would be actually Shisui's last and final year, and Shisui knew that something was up. And anyways, as he came back from a mission, he actually had to go to Danzo, but before he did, he went to Naruto. When he went to Naruto, he actually literally ripped out one of his eyes and one of Naruto's eyes. Naruto was confused on why he's doing this. Naruto's a lot stronger right now, by the way. I'm not going to. I'm going to be covering his training more, his new abilities, by anyways. Now, Shisui told Naruto that this is a gift for him, as this may be the last time they see each other. Naruto was confused and asked why, as he was getting worried at this point, because Shisui is never really pessimistic unless something really important comes up. And anyways, now Shisui tells Naruto not to worry, it's just a hunch. However, Naruto should take this eye and use it, use it only when it's needed, or when it's extremely needed. And anyways, Naruto implants it into himself and Shisui, and anyways, of course, Naruto would be confused, but anyways, Shisui says his final goodbye, as he knows that this is his final day, and he can feel it in his heart. And anyways, of course, in the end, he loses his final eye, and once Itachi asks where he is, he tells him that, he destroyed it himself because he didn't want Danzo to get it, and he didn't think that Itachi would actually find him. And anyways, he did get poisoned, and right before he died, he did send a crow away, and Shisui asked who's it to. Oh, sorry, not Shisui, but Itachi asked who's that crow to, and Shisui just smiled, saying that it's to his student, and Itachi saw Shisui jumping off. Anyways, now Shisui wrote the letter before Itachi found him, and anyways, now Itachi was finally unlocked his Mangekyo, and Naruto, after reading the letter, he decided that he should return to the village now, and of course, he does want to avenge Shisui. However, Shisui did say in his letter not to do it yet, as if he does want to avenge him, which Shisui doesn't mind, to be honest, but he shouldn't do it yet, as no one really knew where he was, and just if he wants to go return to the village, he should just say that he wanted to stay away from it, and he trained himself over the years, and his left eye is his left eye is actually bandaged, as he got hurt by a beast in the forest, and his eye got permanently injured, and he doesn't want to show it. And of course, this would and of course Naruto's bandage would actually have chakra, would have chakra on it, so Shisui made it himself, so no Hyuga could actually find out that Naruto has the Sharingan or anything. And anyways, now Naruto understands everything that Shisui told him, and he decides to actually burn down the little cottage that they used to hang around in, and he even built a little, makeshift tomb for, or gravestone for Shisui, and gave his last final prayer to him, and told him that he'll become a strong ninja, stronger than him, stronger than anyone else in this world, and to show him that he will do what he plans to do. And anyways, Naruto now returns to the Leaf Village at the age of 7, and many people are surprised, many people are shocked, but some felt bad, really bad. Some felt really bad that the child had to go through all of that. His mother died, and he probably didn't even know the reason for it. And most people think that it was just Kushina who had the 9 toes, and all of the people think that. And anyways, now Naruto, once he returned, of course, he got a ton of glares. Once Naruto returned, the Hokage was the first to actually rush to him. As soon as he heard about him return, the Hokage would go straight to him, same as the Uchiha or Sasuke's family. Anyways, Sasuke was really surprised. He friend was still alive, as he was told that Naruto was dead. And anyways, now once Naruto returned, he looked a lot different. He looked stronger, a lot stronger. Of course, this was very, very surprising to most people. Well, anyways, now, of course, the Hokage asked Naruto where he's been, and Naruto told the Hokage that he needed a break. He needed to get away from this village, and he returned now, as he believes that it was time for him to return. And the Hokage asked him, does he know about his mother? Of course, Naruto says, yes, I do. And the Hokage asks, how did you know? And Naruto's like, well, I saw her die when she threw me off when she threw me off the cliff. And anyways, of course, the Hokage was very happy that Naruto was still alive. At least one person, from Minato's family is alive, and it's the youngest one, the one that probably Minato and Kushina would like to be alive the most. And anyways, now, of course, the Hokage wanted to, the Hokage wanted to understand what happened to Naruto, especially his eye. Naruto then told the Hokage that he trained a little bit in a forest, and it didn't end up too well, especially because there was a beast, pretty strong beast. And anyways, now, of course, the Hokage understood and asked him why he's bandaging it, and Naruto's like, I don't want to show it to others. And anyways, he's already an outcast. He doesn't want to scare people off even further. And anyway, now, of course, Sasuke was there, and he asked Naruto how he was, if he's okay, if anything happened. And Naruto actually smiles at Sasuke, as Sasuke is actually one of his only friends, and well, to be honest, his only friend, as he didn't really get to make any other friends. He'd mostly be training in his time off. And anyways, of course, Sasuke tells Naruto that he's been training after he left, or after Naruto disappeared, and he's gotten a lot stronger. And Naruto says, I hope so, you will be my sparring partner, I guess. And anyways, of course, the Uchiha were more than happy enough to take Naruto in again. However, Naruto said that it's better for him to live alone, as he doesn't really want to get used to a new family, the family life again after what happened. The Uchihas understood instantly that Naruto is still traumatized from what happened, and Naruto is still traumatized from all that happened a few years ago, and they don't blame Naruto for declining their offer. And anyways, the Hokage was very saddened by Naruto's answer, because he thought that if the Uchiha would look after him, it'd be better for him and the village. It'd be safer and better for him. And some people who he can trust would be looking after him, and also he wouldn't be in danger, as the Uchiha are more than capable enough to take on pretty much. If someone broke into the Uchiha clan compound, I don't think anyone would even have a chance unless it were Mother Uchiha or the full Hokage themselves. And anyways, or himself, anyway. Now, of course, Hokage accepts Naruto's decision, and actually prepares an apartment for him. And Naruto was happy about it, and happy that some people still cared about him. And the only thing that he missed was pretty much Shisui and his mother. And anyways, now, of course, two other people who rushed to see Naruto were Ichiraku, Ayame, and Doji. Of course, these two actually really liked Naruto, as they found him really cheerful, and Kushina was always they always welcomed Kushina and Naruto. And after finding out about Kushina's death, they were pretty pissed off at the villagers and the ninjas that actually attacked Kushina. And also, once they found out that Naruto hasn't been found and is determined dead, that saddened them even more. However, now that they found out that he's still alive, that just made their life pretty much. And anyways, of course, They were ecstatic that Naruto was back, and anyway, Naruto would start the academy the next year, well, the same year, because he'd become 8, and Sasuke actually already is 8, and anyway, sorry, the next year, sorry, my bad, I got confused, and anyways, of course, during this 1 year, Naruto would get accustomed to the village again, and the villagers would still hate him, in fact, give him the death stares as always. However, Naruto understood why, and he can't really blame them. Anyways, now, of course, inside his head, he still would like some people to interact with him, as it's kind of sad that he's the only one that no one interacts with. And anyways, now, of course, now after all of this, Naruto enters the academy, and all the things that they teach him in the academy are pretty useless. And anyway, during this time, Naruto would make a few new friends. Sasuke and the Uchiha massacre would still happen during the first week of, well, during the first month, I'll say. And anyways, of course, Sasuke would completely change. He'd become more, well, cold, except for the people that he already knew. For example, the only person that he didn't turn cold to is Naruto. Every time Naruto speaks to him, he always has a smile on his face, and Naruto understands why, because Naruto is the only one who can really truly understand him, and both Naruto and Sasuke are pretty much in the same situation. Someone that they loved is gone, and for Sasuke it's a bit worse because Itachi did it out of all people, but Naruto actually knows that Itachi wouldn't do this just on a whim or to test his powers like Sasuke described to him, but he must have a very good reason, in fact, because Itachi always seemed like a family man, and in fact, every time people badmouthed him or Sasuke, he would get pretty pissed off, even if he was one of his own clan members. Some people used to say that Sasuke is like a disappointment compared to Itachi. He'll never be as good as him, and this really pissed off Itachi, and he knew that Itachi would never do something like this without a proper reason. And anyways, now Naruto believes in Itachi's reasons, and so he didn't really go against Itachi, and he even tried telling Sasuke that he must have had a reason, but Sasuke wouldn't accept it, as he can't even blame Sasuke, as even he would be in the same situation. He would be in the same, well, he would have pretty much the same opinion as Sasuke if that was him. Anyways, we will have a 4 year time skip. Naruto would make friends with Shikamaru, and Choji, and that's pretty much it. And he would still be feared by some people, but Kiba would mostly try to, well, be his rival, as Naruto never really tried in the academy, and those two were like at the bottom because he never really tried. And anyways, in the final year, of course, on the final examination day, here Mizuki would actually try to take he would actually try to take advantage of Naruto, who he thought he was going to fail, and the day before, I'll say here, the day before, he actually tried to tell Naruto that there is another way of passing the exam, and that is to steal the scroll of sealing. And Naruto knew exactly what that was, as he would never steal it. Itachi and Shisui have told him many things about it, and of course his mother as well. And anyways, what intrigued him the most about this is that he could use this to his advantage, as he could actually learn something for himself. Of course, once he stole it, he actually wrote down a few things that he wanted to learn, and then those few things would actually be the Flying Raijin, one of his father's techniques, and the Rasengan, that would both be in the Scroll of Sealing, or the Forbidden Scroll. Once he met with Mizuki, he would actually capture him, and he gave him to the Hokage and gave the scroll back, telling the Hokage that he actually, stole it, because then Mizuki would actually come to him, otherwise he would just not even show up. And anyways, the Hokage asked how was he able to beat Mizuki when he is not even able to use a single jutsu yet. And Naruto says that, he took advantage of the scroll a little bit and learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He can't remember the name properly, but it was something like that, because he can't do the Clone Jutsu. And so now Naruto even had an excuse to pass the academy. Of course, Sasuke knew that Naruto was always faking it. He's much stronger than he looks. He's seen Naruto train. They've trained together even sometimes. They're like brothers at this point. And anyways, now Naruto would still be harsher. Of course, him losing his Kushina and everything, you'd think that he might have changed paths or something. No. Anyway, now of course, Team 7 would still be made, and here Naruto and Sasuke would actually be best mates pretty much. They would still be best friends, just like in the original. Well, in the original, it took them a little longer to actually develop their friendship. But anyways, here Naruto training with Sasuke actually gave Sasuke a little bit of a power increase, as since he had a training partner, he was actually able to test things out, and Naruto was pretty strong from what Sasuke saw, and anyways, he was able to unlock his Sharingan during the time that he trained with Naruto. And anyways, now since Sasuke has the Sharingan here, he's a lot stronger than the original Sasuke, and Naruto has a few things that I still haven't mentioned. For example, the 2 year training that he had with or 2 year training that he had with Shisui was still not mentioned, and he learned a lot of things. Well, one thing I will for sure mention, or you guys should already know, is probably that he knows the body flicker just as good as Shisui at this point. Yes, of course, that is basically Shisui's signature technique, and why would he not teach Naruto that when he can, even though it's a D rank or F rank, I can't remember, but still it can be used in such a deadly way. Of course he would teach Naruto. And anyways, now of course, Team 7 would meet their teacher a few hours late, just a few, and Naruto actually smiled once he actually walked in, and Kakashi smiled back at him, as Kakashi and Naruto actually knew about each other and of course, Kakashi would act as an older brother to Naruto. After all, his sensei was Naruto's father, and Naruto actually knows that Minato was Kakashi sensei, as of course Kushina would actually tell everything about Kakashi to Naruto, and also about Rin and Obito, how those two were basically Kakashi's best friends and how they ended up. And anyways, and how Rin was killed by Kakashi. Okay, I'm not gonna mention that. And anyways, now of course Naruto and Kakashi would be in very good terms, and that's why Naruto already wasn't really pissed off that his teacher was this late, as he actually had a hunch that Kakashi would be their teacher, especially because Kakashi has the Sharingan and he's probably the only Sharingan user right now in the village other than him, but of course they don't know that. And anyways, now and Team 7 would then go to the roof, and they would introduce themselves. Sakura would have the same dream. Sasuke would have a little bit of a different dream. He would actually say that he wants to make the person that killed his clan suffer. However, he doesn't want to kill him. He wants answers first, and if he deems him worthy to survive, he won't kill him. But yeah, other than that, he just wants to help Naruto become Hokage. And Naruto's goal is to become Hokage and to change the shinobi world. And anyways, now that was pretty obvious. Everyone knew about that, other than Sakura. Of course, Sakura realized that these two have such big aspirations while she has such small one. And anyway, this would actually kind of trigger something in Sakura in trying a bit harder. And anyways, now of course, other than that, the next day they would still have the bell test, and the bell test would go a lot different. Once they actually begin the bell test, of course, Naruto and Sasuke would already start working together, and they both would get a little touch on the bell. Naruto is much stronger than Kakashi, much stronger than Sasuke, and he's close to Kakashi level right now, as he's training to actually capture the other half of the Nantos. Anyways, yes, there is another half of the Nantos that will be reincarnated. Since I could have just made it that the other half of the Nantos would already be sealed in Naruto, as he had the other half in the chakra would attract each other. However, I'm going to say that there's going to be another Nantos, and this time it will be Naruto who captures it. And anyways, we all know how he will capture it. We don't. Anyways, I don't know myself, to be honest, yet. Anyways, Naruto would be close to Kakashi's level, and he would show just a little bit of his speed to actually save Sasuke from getting pretty much 1,000 years of death. And anyways, now he kicks Kakashi away. Kakashi was very surprised because Naruto was pretty far away, like a few meters away, and in an instant he was already there. It was just like his sensei. But anyways, now of course Naruto and Sasuke would go back and make a plan, and of course they get Sakura, and of course now Naruto would be the decoy, as Sasuke would actually be the support, and Sakura would take the two bells and throw one to each one of them. As of course Sakura actually, well, Naruto actually said to throw one to Sasuke and leave him, but Sakura actually suggested that maybe she should just give it to both of them, as they're gonna do most of the work and it's only fair. This actually kind of caught Naruto off guard because he thought Sakura didn't really like him, but in reality Sakura wasn't really hating on Naruto or anything. She was just not used to Naruto. She didn't know anything about Naruto. However, now that she knows that he has such big aspirations, such nice ones as well, she doesn't mind Naruto anymore. And anyways, now the plan goes as they said, and Sakura was barely able to take both bells as Kakashi was jumping over a fireball jutsu and a wind bullet jutsu. Yes, Naruto used the wind bullet jutsu. Yes, he has wind release. Yes, that's something that he has. And anyways, now if he was going to get hit by both of them, it would create a pretty big explosion, as the wind and fire actually combust, or they make each other stronger. And anyways, now of course Kakashi had to jump up, and Sakura actually came out of nowhere and took the two bells. She was going to get hit by the two jutsus, as she was a bit late. She was meant to take them and run away from the, well, from the area of effect, but she was a bit slow, and so Naruto had to jump in using body flicker and saving her, and Kakashi was able to body flicker away as per normal. And anyways, of course, there was a massive explosion behind Naruto. Sakura saw with the explosion how big it was, and if she got caught in that, she'd probably die. And anyways, Kakashi asked Naruto how he learned the body flicker, and he said that he learned it over the past few years. And of course, Kakashi says, maybe you're not telling your older brother something. And anyways, of course, they consider each other as brothers as well. And anyways, now Naruto just smirks and says that they passed, pretty much. They worked together, and that was the whole point of the test, wasn't it? Of course, even Sasuke wasn't aware of this, and he was confused, and Sakura's like, so the bells are useless? And Naruto's like, yes, it was just meant to be teamwork, but I didn't want to tell you guys, otherwise you guys would try a bit less, because you'd be aware that if you just work together, you would pass. So if there was an incentive to actually get the bells, you guys would actually try harder. Sasuke actually, punched Naruto in the back of the head, and Sakura was like, so I nearly died for nothing. And Naruto's like, yeah, pretty much, we could have done a bit easier. And Sakura was pretty pissed off, but anyways, she understood that Naruto has a good point. She would have tried a little less, and maybe even been even slower, if she already knew that the test is about teamwork. And anyways, now they worked together without two of them knowing about it. However, they knew about the teamwork bit, however, not about the test being about teamwork, but them working as a team. And anyways, so Kakashi was really happy with his team, and he knows that he has two strong people in it, and Sakura is an aspiring ninja, and she has a lot of potential, as we've seen it. She was able to even catch Kakashi off guard for a split second, and that was more than enough to take the bells. And anyways, now of course the next day Team 7 would begin missions, and Kakashi here, he would have more of an incentive to train all his students, as he not only did he lose his master, but then he couldn't protect Naruto when he was getting attacked, and Kushina died because of that. And now Naruto is going to become a ninja, and there's going to be a lot of competition to get the Nantos. And if they find out Naruto's the Nantos Jinchuriki, there's going to be a lot of ninjas out for his head. And anyways, now of course, in the end, Kakashi tells at the end of the mission, he tells them that they will be training straight after the mission, and it'll be sparring, it'd be all kind of training, and Sakura would actually become the healer of the team. Kakashi made some research and thought that maybe they should have a healer, and Sakura was more than happy to do so. And Naruto already had some healing expertise, as he was already trying to make genetically engineer his DNA to match Shisui's eye so he could actually activate and deactivate the Sharingan or whenever. It did happen once, however, ever since he's not been able to activate it. And anyways, so he knows that he can activate it, but he needs a catalyst, and that catalyst has not happened yet. And anyways, basically he already engineered it, but he doesn't know how to unlock it again. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura would continue their training together and doing missions at the same time, and their team would rack up the most missions because they do 3 a day and then go to training straight away. Because they train so much, their teamwork was on a different level from other teams, and Sakura even learned some taijutsu from Naruto, Sasuke and Kakashi, mostly from Kakashi, but Naruto helped her refine her taijutsu after training, as Sasuke would go off to train on his own as per normal and Naruto would train him later. But sometimes they would all 3 train together just because why not, and even after their training with Kakashi. And anyways, Kakashi would do extra training in the weekends when they're on, even on their day offs they would have to train with Kakashi, and this team would have a lot of experience, and also they would have a good bond with each other. All of them are pretty happy with their teammates and they know that they can rely on each other. And anyways, especially because they have an OP Jonin sensei other than Guy. Anyways, now of course these 3 would be able to already take the Chunin exams from just the knowledge they have now without even any experience. Probably just 1 C rank mission is not gonna be more than enough, and you already know what that C rank is. Anyways, now of course a month passes, Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura are tired of the D rank missions. They tell the Hokage that they want a C rank mission. They've been working hard over the past month. They racked up at least 120 missions. Okay, maybe not that many. Let me do some maths. If they did 3 a day since the 2nd day onwards, let me do some maths. 3 times 29 equals 2. Okay, so basically, maths with Tico. So 60 times 3, 30 times 3 is 90 minus 2 because they only did 1 on the first day. We'll say 88 missions, 88 D-rank missions. Anyways, they've racked up 88 D-rank missions. If I'm gonna get the calculator out just in case before I clown myself. I'll just cut this out. Yeah, I was right. So basically, yeah, 88 missions. And the Hokage was more than happy enough to give them a higher tier mission. It was a C rank mission according to what the bridge builder applied it as. And anyways, now the application said C rank mission and it was only an escort mission to the Land of Waves. Of course, the Hokage has heard some rumors about the Land of Waves being quite dangerous and quite common to someone like Zabuza, the Demon Brothers, and a corrupt lead or corrupt dictator, but he didn't get too much information because this was quite recent and they didn't really send other search parties or other other research parties to go and research this information further and get more info out of it. Anyway, now of course Team 7 would go on to complete, not complete the mission straight away. Of course, they would go on to do this mission on the next day, as this day would be them mentally preparing for this mission, and the next day would actually be going to it. They would have to rest very well today, get a good night's sleep, of course, rest their body because they've been training for the full month, and of course the body is still sore, especially because they've been training every single day of the month, and so it's not going to be easy for them to do this mission, especially because they would need at least a week rest before actually taking on an A rank mission, but they don't know, they think it's a C rank mission. And anyway, that's where I'm going to end off. Hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe. This was Talking Weebs there, and peace.